And just the fact that they're now saying that transgenderism is somehow healthcare, and that we need to have our tax dollars go to supporting somebody mutilating their body. People today think this is somehow cool, and that it's really awesome to go and get a gender change. And the truth is that there are only male chromosomes and female chromosomes. There is no it chromosomes. And just the word it is degrading to another human. But if they're not a male or a female, what are they?
There it is, Beavis. When I look at that, I see fat stacks of cash.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's too high, butthead.
Try knocking it down with this big fork thing.
Okay.
Ugh! That's what you're doing, asswipe.
Yeah, sorry.
Ow!
Considering that plastic takes forever to decompose and we've basically built a new mini continent from all of our discarded plastic and the tiny version of plastic that's in our blood now.
Wow, that blew my mind!
Religious extremists don't believe in plurality or inclusion, but only in their own superiority and privilege. So in the 1950s, they changed our national motto from the unifying phrase "E pluribus unum" to an exclusionary proclamation of religious belief, and then forced atheist children to chant that mantra ever since. They don't want a democratic republic of we the people. They want an authoritarian regime of forced conformity, restricting even our most intimate liberties, what we think and even who we are. To achieve that goal, they promote American exceptionalism, which is the lie that the U.S. is blessed and will remain so only as long as we appease the Christian version of God, even when that means attacking unbelievers and queer folk, which our increasingly awful state is already doing. In order to sell the first lie, they need to couch it in another lie, that the U.S. was founded as a Christian nation, which is demonstrably factually false even according to the founders themselves. and the lie that our laws were based on Moses, who experts now say never existed. The First Amendment contradicts the First Commandment because the founders wanted to be the polar opposite of the Sharia-like law of Moses. But if the Ten Commandments were prominently displayed in every classroom, then the kids would believe that lie. That's why religious conservatives want this. They are relentlessly trying to rewrite history to undermine our pioneer example of a secular nation, the only form of governance that can provide religious freedom. Our model has become the envy of the Western world and is now emulated by older countries that were once the oppressive theocracies that our forefathers escaped and that Christian nationalists now want to drag us back to. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said this bill would promote religious freedom, which of course it won't. It will have the opposite effect, which is the intended effect, to promote Christianity to a privileged position. This bill is an unconstitutional establishment of religion by design. That is the whole point of it, and the only possible purpose behind it, so it must not pass.
All right, members, excuse me, any questions for this witness? All right, we appreciate you being here. Chair calls Charles Cruz.
Good morning, my beauties and bees. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hive. We are live from the Hive because it is Saturday morning, and as you expected, coming at you at 9:30, but we had 10 minutes of intros to do this morning, so that was a pretty good run. Definitely some R and Raw in there. Always brightens my... Thank you, Maya. Yeah, I was gonna do my hair different, but then I was decided I'm gonna wear my, check out the snakeskin top I got, and it makes my, honestly, I like the way it makes my chest look. Give me some cleavage. Small boobs. Girl problems. Good morning, everybody. Hello. I hope everybody's doing well. It's dark outside because it's storming, which is good because it's been dry and hot. But I am in a little bit of darkness this morning. It's like it's nighttime, so I got to kind of lit like I do when it's night. But who knows? It might brighten up outside and change the whole dynamic before we know it. So, because I got a long show for you guys today. A long show. We're going to go over a lot of stuff. I got 5 videos and 2 articles queued. So it's more than, well, 6 videos, but one of them is just like a short Twitter thing. So, but they're going to be fulfilling, I hope. We got the first thing is the main event for today is these face peelers from Peru. I gave it a couple of weeks because I wanted to see if more developed. So I've struck stuff too soon, and it's developed, and then I like the Tiffany Gomez thing, the that MFer's not real lady from the plane. You know, I struck that early on when it first released, and then a whole bunch of stuff, she came out and said stuff about it and whatnot that changed the whole dynamic of it, which changed the way that I want to respond to it, honestly. So I wanted to wait and see what this Peruvian face peeler thing turned out to be, but it turned out it just keeps getting weirder, so I figured I better start now. Before I get into the next little thing I wanted to go over, before Cryptic Corner, I want to say good morning to everybody that I see out here, because I see Jason Jacoby, I see Greg Hartwick, I see Stephanie Helms, I see Tsunami and D Parks and Native Atheist, Tobin Templeman, hello, everybody. Got Jeannie Bottle, almost said Janine. I've been watching Ghostbusters. Ring is here. Good morning. Good morning, Sasquatch Secrets. Hi, Nikki. I've been catching some of your morning stuff. I can't interact because I'm at work, but I listen to it while I'm working. So fun stuff. Al Trucker's here. Hey, hey. Maya, hello, beautiful. I hope I didn't. Oh, Brian Stevens showed up. No, you're not late. I'm just getting started. No worries. We're just getting started this morning. We got a lot of show ahead of us, so stick with me, and we're gonna make it a fun one. My voice sounds extra echoey in my room, but all the blankets and stuff that are usually up are up, so I don't know what's making it so echoey. Cynthia McDonald is here. Hello, Cynthia. And Stephanie. Stephanie, my partner in crime on a lot of topics. Yeah, we come packaged together on a lot of shows, so always eager to engage about some social issues affecting the LGBTQ and specifically trans community. So good morning to you, lovely lady. I don't know what the weather's like there. It's storming here, but I hope you all are having a lovely day. It's pleasant weather. Now, before I get into Cryptic Corner, oh, hi Kendra, Marty. Oh my gosh, people just keep popping in. Hello, hello. I'm never gonna get started. I just keep having to say hi to everybody because that's how I am. I'm friendly to a fault. Anyway, there's one thing I wanted to talk about before I start diving into the meat of the show. The first thing is going to be this. Oh, not that. This. Here we go. So, let me show you guys. I started a GoFundMe. To the point of eBay, I just you all don't really see it too much on here because I set my lights and I shave just in time because I do shave too many times a day. It's a problem I have, but regardless of that, I want to get electrolysis, and if anybody feels generous, here's what I got going on. We're at 105 right now, so thank you so much to the people who have donated. It's on the screen. Sorry if you wanted to be the screen. I think there's a thing you can hit, but hello, I'm Bree. I'm 1 year into my medical transition, male to female, and all is going well except this stupid beard. There was a time when I loved the thing, not gonna lie. Back when I was in the closet and really did the job of hiding my true identity in the less accepting area of the country I live in. Those closet days are behind me now, and now all this facial hair just fills me with the worst kind of dysphoria. Unfortunately, electrolysis isn't in my current budget, but I'm desperate to get rid of this facial hair once and for all. That's where you come in. Got a couple extra bucks to spare, help a girl out, help save my sanity from this crushing dysphoria. So, oh, thank you, Tsunami. Yeah, so that's that. And thank you for sharing that, Maya. I'm going to pin that at least for a while. I just wanted to let you guys know I was doing it. There's no pressure to donate or anything. If you do have the money to spare, though, I can use it. I am probably going to allocate channel earnings to it towards that fund too. Just because in order for me to keep coming on camera, I have to be able to look at myself on camera. And sometimes I look good, like, but sometimes, and even you guys probably don't even notice the stuff that I notice when I'm watching something back and when I'm editing and have to look at my face for hours and hours, and I see it all. And it gets stressful. So I think that this is going to go a long way towards making me feel better about myself. And then I'll see where I am there about doing like FFS. I'm considering FFS, or at least just maybe even just a nose job. in the future, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens after the electrolysis, right? That's my goal right now. So if you want to help, if you want to give a little bit, I appreciate it. There's no, I didn't put like any minimum or anything on it. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. I don't want to hang up on it too long. And I appreciate everybody for sticking around. And let's get the show started. Who's ready for some Cryptic Corner? Who's ready for some face peelers? Face peelers? What? Stick around and find out. I'll see you over there. Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to Cryptic Corner, where we explore the unexplained, the supernatural, paranormal, and hidden, the mysterious, the alien, accursed, and the forbidden. I am your host, the bombastic Bumblebee, and hello, everybody joining me tonight for a bit of a creepy episode, some creepy alien stuff. With me, as you will see in just a moment, as soon as it populates, I have the lovely Hive here, watching this live from the Hive with me, and you can join them as well every Saturday morning as we explore Cryptic Corner together. 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time for my American friends, and we have a fun time generally. It's mostly pretty lighthearted stuff. Every now and then we got a serious topic. Today is kind of one, maybe. It's definitely a mysterious topic because we're going to be exploring the world of the Peruvian face peelers. This is topical. This is headline news. So let's see what we have. All right, so I'm going to be watching it's Chaos Moogle is the person we're going to be watching this with, or talking about this with. So Peru alien attack, UFO invasion, or predictive programming. Now, let me know how his audio is as well, okay? Hive, I'm dependent on ya.
Attacking Peru, and it's been caught on tape and all over the news.
What, did I miss something?
Aliens are attacking Peru, and it's been caught on tape and all over the news.
Okay.
This is Telemundo's coverage of the events as they unfolded, with translations in English on the screen.
Los habitantes le disparan a los supuestos seres.
They shoot at the assumption you are as they see.
En medio de la noche. Los vecinos dicen que están aterrorizados. Ellos describieron a los entes como gigantes que miden casi 7 pies de altura y que visten trajes que parecen de astronautas. Vamos a escuchar.
This gentleman here is describing the extraterrestrials as about 7 feet tall and dressed almost like astronauts, with their clothes covering their body and protecting them, presumably from our atmosphere.
Los miembros de la comunidad están haciendo vigilias por las noches para protegerse y tratar de capturar a los
Try to
supuestos
capture
seres
the alleged
extraterrestres que
extraterrestrial
dicen
beings.
habrían atacado a una joven.
This isn't the first time Peruvians have dealt with this problem, actually capturing the entities on camera in 2018.
So we'll get to some of the descriptions here and see what we think that this could be.
Team, check this out.
This was recorded by one of the villagers in 2018. Not only does their reaction make me feel like this is genuine, but the way that this creature is moving through the trees, and the trees actually hiding it like it's behind the objects, it's not hyperimposed or superimposed on it. Like, I think this is very authentic. Look how lanky this thing is. Its neck is so thin and long.
I have very little doubt that this is a computer generated, and it's CGI.
This is wild.
This looks CGI to me. The fun thing about CGI, when you have low quality and poor lighting like this, is it gives you a lot of wiggle room for inferred information, right? You don't actually have to try to make an eye. You just have to make a dark space where someone might say, hey, that looks kind of like an eye. You can depend on human brains to piece it together. So you can you got kind of hang loose with it. Like, you see this heavy pixelation, the pixels on here. I don't know how well that's coming over to you guys, but the pixels are about a centimeter square on my screen. Like, this was taken with a Nokia phone from 2003.
There's also more recent footage that was actually just analyzed. Let's take a look at that, and I'll tell you guys what I think.
This is the original footage from the village that started everything trending recently.
Yeah, so we have, and we're gonna look at this closer. We're gonna look at this closer in a little bit, but this is the video that kind of struck a chord with people, but they're shining it up into the hills, into the trees here, shining a spotlight.
And we have Drew on Twitter to thank for slowing this down and analyzing it. I'll have that linked in the description. Here we have that zoomed in and sharpened video. The problem with the video is that it was taken, on an inferior camera at nighttime.
Yeah.
So its ISO and exposure are horrible to try and capture something like this. We can glean a little bit of information from this analysis, though, even though...
I think you might just say glean, right? But yeah, the ISO and the contrast and everything on this camera is bad, and what they're trying to get is too far away for this camera model to pick up. So it's just getting shape distortions and stuff inside the spotlight. It's capturing stuff that's there, but like the previous video, the quality is so low. I'm not in this one. I don't think there's any kind of CGI going on. I think this is literally just pareidolia. Yeah.
So the quality isn't quite up to par with what we want.
Yeah. So they'll drip down some eyes and stuff in here. It's at 10%
You can see
speed.
what appears to be a creature or an entity peeking out behind a bush or some shrubbery. I will try to grab a still and showcase this to you guys. Just a warning again, it is blurry because the video itself isn't great quality. So me trying to grab a screenshot to point...
I want to make it clear that right now, there's nothing. This is all very amorphous, right? To all of us, to everybody looking at this, it's very amorphous, and we got some looks like some green there. So I do agree that there's some plants there. There's some white in here that the light's hitting, or it might be a lighter gray. Or considering the quality and pixelation it's hard to say what we're looking at. It's hard to say what this could be. But when this guy is going to show some eyes on it and circle the head and everything, and then all of a sudden an image is going to come out of it, and you're going to say, hey, that's a face. But you'll see this a lot when I used to be in a lot of ghost hunter groups and stuff, that the people will take pictures of like their kids in front of the house or something, and there'll be some amorphous shape in the window, because the ISO is trying to balance that, and there's nothing there. There's nothing really there. It's trying to it's going in waves over it, balancing the light, all in just the seconds. So from when you push the button, it's doing this. But it's, every pixel on there, it's dropping or raising and lowering the light levels to try to capture whatever's there. And when it's a void like that, it'll some pixels will decide this is a dark place, and some pixels will decide it's a light space, and you'll end up with blurry shapes, and you can make faces out of them. To me, it's a lot like how when you listen to electric voice phenomena, right? Electronic EVPs. When you listen to them, and you can hear nothing, right? And then someone can tell you what they're saying, and then you can listen back and you can hear it. It's because you train your brain to listen for that. Also, this harkens back to the dress with the two colors. Is this dress blue or gray? I think it was, or blue or brown, something like that. Where they compared the colors. Or another audio example is the Laurel and Yanny voice thing, that depending on what your ears are, what frequencies your ears are listening for, how you hear it. It's very cool. Very cool stuff. My amorphous butthole. My butthole is amorphous. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Point out what is being seen. Again, it's not going to be the best quality, but let's check it out. So this is what we get with the enhancement. It's blurry, so a lot of people are making more of it than I think it actually is.
Right.
I think the bulk of this image is actually shrubbery, where you're going to see the head pop out behind, like right here. I definitely think that this is something peeking from behind the bushes of the shrubbery that are behind those phone wires up there. You can actually even see the eyes. Check this out. This is what I think.
Yeah,
that's
there you
how
go.
I highlighted it. I see a big head and those big old almond-shaped eyes kind of partially obscured behind something.
See, the dark spaces become eyes, and then, yeah, he even put a little nose on there. Look at that. He put a little dot for a nose, even though there's nothing there that represents a nose. Maybe he's talking that brighter patch is... I don't know.
What do you guys think? This is what that original image of the enhanced video looks like. Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing there? I'm gonna replay the original video with some zoom and no edits for you guys to see if you guys see it as well. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Now, these aren't the only entities invading Peru.
They had to slow that way the heck down. Did you see how slow that was going in order for us to see the alleged eyes and face and all that? So slow. My water bottle's already almost gone. When you hear shrubbery, I hear Holy Grail.
With reports of even light beings being caught on camera.
As of right now, more and more information is being released about the mysterious entities that were sighted in Peru. Oddly enough, since the topic has been trending, locals have been posting...
Now that, I don't know if this has anything to do with the actual sighting. That's pretty cool, though. It's like a light being. There's the head, and I mean, this is very clearly made. I don't know if they're trying to push this as something real. The edges are too sharp for it to be real. It'd have to, well, I don't know. With some practical effect tricks or something. I don't know if you could pull this off or not, but I think it's Photoshop.
Posting photographs of the alleged creatures, with some describing them as giving off bright lights, while others have said that they have big heads with large eyes.
What I love most about this picture is that not only is it a great shot, but it actually showcases a lot of the alleged characteristics of these.
Yeah, and there's a very thin neck here. Very thin. So getting closer up like this, I can see like the head's not a circle though. Like it goes like this, and then down to this tiny neck, but there's like a bulge right here. Some kind of bulge. And it has skinny arms.
Entities. We're seeing a bright light, we're seeing a big head, and we can assume big eyes on a big head.
Do you think this is genuine, guys? Nikki's in there. Nikki, you're used to looking at blurry, out of focus pictures. Maybe like if you had a white cutout and put like here on the midsection, right here, some kind of light pointed towards the camera, and this was all white. I wonder if you could mimic this effect. But there's light barring here too, which makes me think there's light coming from two directions. Which might explain how sharp the edges are on this. If you have light cutting two ways, making sharp shadows. And yeah. I don't know though, because it's blurry down here where the light would actually be crossing paths too.
To investigate.
Now, what makes this entire story more credible is the fact that, yet again, the media is on a disinformation campaign.
With outlets claiming that the 7-foot-tall aliens are actually a gold mining gang on jetpacks.
I don't believe that for a
using
second.
This image of a young lady holding up a photo of a...
I don't for a second believe that this is a gold mining operation with jetpacks. Jetpacks cost from $150,000 to $300,000 generally. It's like military grade equipment, right? Especially what she's showing here. And I don't for a second accept that that a South American gold mining gang is out there with jetpacks scooting around. This guy's going to misunderstand what this is about, though. So let's back it up.
The outlets using this image of a young lady holding up a photo of a person on a jetpack saying that this is what attacked them. However, a quick reverse search of this image shows you that is actually a flipped screenshot from this particular video. What's more is that they actually left the metadata included.
I think you're confused, sir. I think that what this is supposed to be is this little girl found a picture of what she saw on her phone. She looked up and tried to find something close to what she saw and picked this image as what was closest to what was witnessed. I think that you're confused and you think that she's trying to push this as a picture she actually took of the entity, when no, it's not a picture she's supposed to have taken of the entity. But it's like when someone shows another person a coloring book picture of a dinosaur in the Congo, and they're like, "Yep, that's what lives out here." To the evangelicals, you know how the natives like to do that to them and send them out into the out into the wild searching for Mokili Mimbi and all that. It's the same thing. She's showing saying, hey, this is a representation of what we saw.
On the image that they use in the article, and photos that we take on our phone do not usually include metadata like this. This is a post.
The strange part about this movement in misinformation is that they're also using evidence, that it's not aliens, with pictures of creatures that are not 7 to 10 feet tall, like the people are describing, and pictures that absolutely contradict the video evidence we already have. With censorship going...
your drawings and stuff that you made on the image doesn't match the witnesses, what they claim to have seen either. All the witnesses talk about looking like giant armored soldiers, more like Predator than gray aliens, right? They don't, they're supposed to be, like in spacesuits. They compared it to the Green Goblin on his Goblin glider from Spider-Man, 2001. So yeah, that's not what the claim is.
As far as completely shutting down 4chan and blocking this image, according to Ed_Gill_84. Check it out.
Posted something a couple of days ago about an alien picture that shut down 4chan, and that it was gone, and the only picture was one that was somehow encrypted.
And this doesn't look like the description either. There's no armor, right? And it does have the long neck like this guy likes, though. He's really into these long necks.
Blurred.
Personally, I do not use 4chan, but I saw all over Twitter and Reddit. This is accurate. 4chan was shut down for a while for some image that needed to be cleaned up, and it turns out this really was the image.
Legit or not, for me, just the efforts of what happened after it was posted is enough for me.
That I agree with. Like, what entire platform is going to shut down for one picture?
All of these things, I'm not going to rule it out and sit there and say, oh my God, I'm not going to do that. Now, if you want to argue on whether or not it's a reptilian, hey, well, you know what? We can go back and forth on that, because honestly, I'm not really convinced it's a reptilian, but I've never seen a reptilian, so I don't really know what the hell a reptilian looks like.
Yeah, as far as this being a reptilian, there's not enough. So let's go over what a reptile is. So it doesn't just mean scaly skin, right? There's the most important thing about being a reptile is your metabolism, which would be cold-blooded, right? Now, an upright posture like this is not a positive trait for something that needs to get to absorb heat from the environment, right? You don't want to be straight up to the sun. You want to have as much of your body exposed to the sun as possible if you're a reptile. So bipedal reptiles will still be their posture will still be horizontal, right? They'll still carry their weight at their hips, and will have a tail to counterbalance if they're a cold-blooded reptile. Now, there are warm-blooded reptiles. Birds are warm-blooded reptiles. Dinosaurs were mostly warm-blooded reptiles, as far as we know. And we see moving from being ectothermic to endothermic, the loss of or the changes of the requirements of the physiology, right? When everything was mostly cold-blooded, you have big sails. You still have sails today on modern reptiles, right? But more like you think of like the Permian, for instance, especially at the start of the Permian, all the tetrapods that were crawling around all had big sails to regulate temperature. And reptiles never really did move away from that model, right? What we think of as reptiles, they have the 3-chambered hearts and all that, or what, 2-chambered hearts. I think crocodilians have like a 3rd chamber, something like that. Or is that varanids that have a 3rd chamber? Anyway, there's a lot of thermoregulation stuff that would make a reptile not move to an upright posture. So that's my thing. That's my rant about reptilians.
I agree that it does not look like what we would consider to be a reptilian. However, to me, it looks less extraterrestrial and more like in or somewhere hidden on the planet, because its neck looks almost like a tree trunk.
Yeah, and
that's Groot, guys. It does have big doe eyes like Groot.
Is the picture that caused 4chan to actually get shut down.
Some media outlets are going as far as using this promotional campaign for the predictive programming movie Jules and claiming that it's one of the aliens that they're seeing in Peru. Again, it's not. This is just a campaign for a movie.
What? That?
Don't tell us.
And we will be talking more about that movie and predictive programming soon.
But so the idea is that they're predictive programming, that they're trying to get us used to the concept of aliens among us. But the thing is it seems like more like they're trying to program us to be afraid of them than trying to program us to be accepting of them. Moving the wrong direction, really, as far as what we would expect from our government trying to program us to the acceptance of the idea of aliens. Seems like more like they may be trying to program us to the acceptance of kill them all and let God sort them out to the aliens. Because, yeah, at least in the U.S., where we're currently being run by an evangelical theocracy.
All in all, the alien attack in Peru has been wild. And in my opinion, for the government...
Are you talking about perennial sunning still, Al? Yeah, I hung out with Al for the first time ever a couple days ago at Embers, right? And I didn't even catch Al's thick Canadian accent. I thought maybe he was from the upper Midwest, but because, yeah, accents, I guess, don't... When you live where I live in the upper Midwest, I live in like the Midwest. The upper Midwest is just like an hour drive north, and the southern Midwest is about an hour, 2 hours south. So there's southern accents down there, and there's almost Canadian accents an hour north. So I don't hear them too much. It just all comes natural to me. Now, my natural accent, like I grew up with, it sounds more southern. I specifically break myself from using it. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, because you were talking about snapping turtles. I don't even, Canada doesn't even come into my head when I think about giant snapping turtles, but it makes sense because there's so many lakes up there. Of course, snapping turtles are going to thrive. As a matter of fact, I think I saw a video of a snapping turtle eating a porcupine. And it was either in Canada or somewhere in the upper Midwest. But I'm off track now, talking about all kinds of side quests and things like that. Let's get back to the Peruvian aliens, Al. We will pick up on snapping turtles soon, I promise. I love snapping turtles. So if you have videos or pictures of snapping turtles out there, send them to me.
Government and for the people trying to keep a secret, it's been a debacle. I mean, literally right after we started getting this video evidence and footage, we start getting this insane misinformation campaign. I mean, the first video I showed you guys with that creature walking through the woods or the forest.
Again, that was from 2018, right? That's years ago. He's linking that together just because it's from the same country. And again, I think that one looks like it's a CGI.
This is not a miner in jetpack. Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. So something big is happening in Peru. It makes me even feel that this is one of the...
Oh, you can't hate them, Tsunami. They're just doing their thing. It's just like, I know you love great white sharks. I know you do. I've heard you, or not heard you, but I've seen you say it in the side chat. Great white sharks will eat baby birds too. They'll eat baby seals. But we have to. It's a circle of life. There's frogs that they'll eat baby birds too. They eat little baby ducks. Big bullfrogs will. And the giant water bugs will eat baby turtles.
The ships or these beings that are not actually extraterrestrials, and they're our creations, the biological robotics that I believe it was Greer talked about, because Greer mentioned that...
Oh, Stephen Greer. The Hive knows about Stephen Greer. We've covered him at length previously on this very show. E3 meditation or whatever. I did that. I actually did that. It's been almost 2 years ago now. I did it with my ex-wife. We did the meditation thing that Stephen Greer with Stephen Greer talking us through it. And we couldn't stop laughing at some of the stuff that he was saying in the meditation. It was so silly. I think that was with Mr. Bear. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Let me drop that link in the side chat. This has been from a long time ago. I think was this back when I was still presenting masculine? Nope, it's not. It was very early in my transition though. So y'all want to see what I looked like right out of the egg? Also, it's in this video. So here, let me drop that in the side chat. And also, there's Mr. Bear's the bomb. Mr. Bear was the one who did that episode with me, and again, Mr. Bear is do I have his? Yeah, I have his channel too. Let me drop that as well. Because when we bring up Stephen Greer, I have to plug stuff I've done in the past. And Mr. Bear was the one who helped me through that. So there's that as well. All right. I'm going to play this for a minute. I'm going to go grab another bottle of water because this one's gone. My coffee's super bitter and I need to hydrate. So I'll be right back. I'm going to play this guy talking while I'm gone.
There are aliens, there are UFOs, but a lot of the abductions and the bad things that happen to people are actually our re-engineered ships with our scientists. And I don't mean just US, I mean the whole Earth. Our scientists and our crazy people that are power hungry, kidnapping people and trying to instill the fear of an alien invasion so that they can fake an alien invasion and bring the world together. Now that falls into a whole different conspiracy, but I can definitely see it, as people that have had real contact with real entities tend to say that they are peaceful and kind, not attacking villages. I don't know, the entire thing to me.
People say they're gentle and kind. That's the Stephen Greer message, though. It's not the general message about abductee experiences. Many of them experience like an invasive medical exam. A non-voluntary invasive medical exam is the majority of extraterrestrial encounter reports. They're not peaceful, right? Most people experience it like their probing is not just a meme. That's actually what people report. That's why it became a meme. So the idea that everybody else is saying they're benign, but these guys, no, only Stephen Greer is insistent that they're benign.
Me smells very fishy, and I wish that I could just travel to Peru and see what's going on, but I also don't want to get eaten by an alien or fake alien, so I don't know, who knows. I'm sure you guys have seen the face peel video, which I can't post on here because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, as I was just banned from posting.
I did watch the face peel video, and just to give you guys, I'm not going to show it either, but it is, I might share it on Twitter though, it's because it's on Twitter, but it's actually, if you look into the history of what it is cartel shit. It is someone getting their face held into the water, letting piranhas eat their face. And then they I don't know if they did it with the person in a pool or in a tank, or if they actually did it in the wild. But however they did it, they let the piranhas eat this guy's face clean, and then threw his body out. And it's the videos of the body being discovered. It's pretty gross, and pretty graphic. So, just to give you guys an idea, I didn't show it, but I described it. So, hopefully you understand what it looked like.
Posting for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. But that is something else that's circulating on Twitter. I'll have it linked in the description, and they're connecting it to the alien attack. I don't know. I feel like it could also be some like gangster mob type thing going on, because it looks gross and it looks insane. But as per usual,
it's like a skeleton head or skeleton face on a human body. It's insane. Piranhas are incredibly voracious killers.
I don't know what you guys think. Please let me know in the comments. Sorry I've been gone so long. I've been dealing with YouTube. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I will get right back to you, and there'll be more videos coming soon. I'll see you next time.
Yeah, it's graphic. If you can stomach it, I don't know. I'm not going to drop a link to it here. I don't want someone to accidentally click on it. But yeah, the thing that I will share though is, we'll do this one.
Ahí dale, vete de su huerta, vete de su huerta. De su huerta, vecino. Vete. Ahí está. Ahí dale, vecino. Dale, camina allí. Vete de su huerta, vete de su huerta.
I don't know, guys. What do you think? This right here pops his little head up. The sound's very eerie when they slow it down like that. Let's do, there we go. There you go. Okay. This frame here. I do see black spaces. Now, for an organism to have night vision, to be able to see in the dark, generally you want to reflect, there'd be some reflection. That's why night animals, why organisms, even like deer and stuff, why you see their eyes in the headlights. These spaces are absorbing light. They're just soaking it right up. Not organic. In the way, not an organic way to take in light. I think that criticism for what it's worth, but shining a spotlight on it. If these are actually eyes, they're not eyes that have night vision. They're not eyes that can see in the dark. As far as any eye structure that we know, as far as camera eyes go, they would reflect the light back. Even animals that, like I said, cows and things like that have enough reflection in their eyes to reflect it back. Now, apes don't. So, I mean, it could be a person or, I mean, another ape, but there aren't any other apes in Peru unless something escaped. But it certainly doesn't look like a person or an ape. Yeah. Yeah, just filming anything, like Tsunami says right now. I feel like you could film any obscure shit at night in night vision and it would look mysterious. You could film a left nut up close and convince TikTok that it's some being from another planet. You are so adorable. Why you gotta be in here cracking jokes and making me giggle like a chipmunk? Yeah, and Brian Stevens has a point that ape eyes, generally, if they do show any reflection of light, it's going to be a red light. These eyes were not reflecting any light at all. Alleged eyes, because we don't know. Anyway, so that was that. I had another one that I was going to go over, but I don't know, let's give him a second.
Have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
The events, a lot of the events that are being reported are true. We have video of the authorities showing up. We have video of the villagers running out into the jungle shooting at something, okay? But after the investigation...
There really was something out there. I mean, I don't have any doubt at all that there was some kind of engagement going on, right? I don't think that it was like a whole thing was a hoax.
What they come out with is they say...
And I don't doubt that these villagers were scared. Sounds scary, like a scary experience.
What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris. In today's video, we're going to be going over what is known as the Peruvian alien attacks. A tribe of about 1,300...
Nope, Peruvian face peelers. Don't try to change it to alien attacks. Peruvian face peeler sounds so much cooler. I'm calling my video Peruvian face peeler. You do whatever you want. Shocking truth about Peruvian alien attacks. See how far that gets you. We're gonna give these entities a specific name so that it peaks up. We're gonna put a hashtag face peelers and stuff like that. Dude, get with the program.
100 people were being attacked by an unknown entity, which caused the local military to come to their aid. Supposedly, they uncovered what was actually going on, and the truth is just as bizarre. We will be breaking down what is supposedly going on and the latest details in today's video.
Yeah, this is a mob something.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, where we cover true crime, mystery to the missing. Sometime back in mid-July of this year, a tribe that lives around the town of San Antonio in Peru, that consists of about 1,300 people, started being terrorized almost every night from what the villagers claim are creatures known as Los Pelicares, which means the face peelers. Eventually, this story and videos made international headlines, which apparently shows the villagers being attacked by what they believed to be 7-foot-tall aliens that were bulletproof and had some kind of disc on their feet that allowed them to hover and fly away. I'm going to play a clip of that event where the villagers are going on the offensive, and what you're about to see is apparently no hoax.
Gente, cállate. Hay que tener bastante cuidado.
Here we go.
Ahí está, ahí está. Ya creo que la encontré al pie de la cara. Ahí está, ya la encontré, por allá está un montón de gente, ¿ves? Por ahí, por allá.
There it is.
Ahí está.
I see it. Over there.
Cuidado.
There it is. Go after it. Be careful. Gunfire. Follow him. Be careful. Over there. Over there. Get him. See its face. Be careful. Look at it. Catch him. Be careful. Where is it? Flew away. Did it leave? Is it gone? Chase it. Yeah.
Sígale. Oh, ya se ha elevado, ya dice. Ya se ha elevado. Ya se alarga, vuela, escucho, pues no puede hacer nada. Puta madre, ¿cómo vamos a hacer ahora?
Yeah, I heard punta, so I know he's cursing.
Vuela, puta madre, a ver qué hacemos. Vamos a hacer, puta madre. Es que llama a la policía, al ejército, para que nos vengan a apoyar. Vamos a ver cómo está la familia allá.
Eso es lo que le va a volar. Los niños, mira, se ven, los niños no duermen, están ahí las madres desvelando, señores. Son extraterrestres estos señores, son vestidos con blindados, son tipo del hombre verde que parecía el hombre araña, igualitos, son señores. Yo les valió 2 veces y no caen, en vez de que caen se elevan y se desaparecen, señores. ¿Cómo ellos visten sus uniformes, no? Ellos visten un uniforme así, todo una máscara completa como el hombre verde, pero el color es plateado. Llevan en sus zapatos, tienen así como una forma redonda, como un platillo, que de ahí se elevan esos andan.
It was on a hoverboard.
The guy in the yellow shirt is claiming that he came face to face with this unknown entity where he engaged it by shooting at it, but apparently his bullets had no effect and it just flew away. He described
it flew away on a hoverboard. They'll leave out the hoverboard.
It as like the villain from Spider-Man, the Green Goblin, that has predator-like capabilities. Here is another short clip taken from another night where apparently you can actually see some kind of alien or unknown entity in the distance.
Discuss the eyes on this thing.
Ahí, dale, camina. Vete, de su huerta, de su huerta, vecino.
What's even more bizarre is this is not the only place in South America that this is happening. Apparently there have been reports in Brazil of sightings of things coming from the sky, following people. Here is a reporter interviewing some locals who were chased by something that came out of the sky.
Próximo à casa do meu amigo Márcio, como eu vinha na garupa, eu sentia aquele clarão nas minhas costas. Aquele clarão muito branco, muito forte do céu descendo. Acontece que a gente foi com muito medo e aquela luz seguiu a gente mais ou menos uns 300 metros antes de chegar na...
Chased by a fireball is what they're talking about.
So what the heck is actually going on? As these locals claim they have suffered injuries and more by these entities and had to get militaries.
Are the injuries from the entities though, or are they from running around in the dark with guns chasing after the entities? Because those are not the same. Those are not the same thing, right?
Involvement. Even this story made international headlines as this didn't seem like some hoax made up by a large group of villagers. You can clearly tell these poor people are being terrorized by something or someone. Of course, after this hit major headlines, many people had different theories as to what was actually going on.
We know
from
Timothy.
The cartel to some kind of black ops operation to an actual alien attack. So apparently after the local military got involved, an article...
A black ops operator. activity in Iquitos has taken an unprecedented turn. According to the prosecutor's office, criminal organizations would be responsible for several attacks on the residents of San Antonio de Pintuaca community of the Iquitu tribe, and would have been using disguises to imitate strange beings or aliens with the purpose of generating terror. The accusation has been confirmed by various complaints from the community of the Alto Nene district of Iquitos. The residents repeatedly reported appearance of strange beings, which specialized prosecutor for environmental matters now attributes to the activity of illegal miners. Yeah, but not on jetpacks, right? So this is like a Scooby-Doo thing they're talking about. Like they're Scooby-Dooing these villagers is the claim.
Came out claiming that this was the result of illegal miners who were after gold in certain parts of the Amazon jungle. Apparently these miners are using modern technology and scare tactics to drive these villagers from their territories.
This has happened before. Miners will go in and try to scare the wits out of villagers by pretending to look like aliens, etc. Ben Hansen is an expert. He's like one of the best UFO investigators out there, and he was one of the first people to throw cold water.
A lot of the events that are being reported are true. We have video of the authorities showing up. We have video of the villagers running out into the jungle shooting at something, okay?
But what's interesting is there's no reports of any arrests that I can find. What I would like to know, if this was actually the cause, what in the heck are these so-called illegal miners using to scare these poor people? Are they actually flying around on jetpacks with bulletproof vests? Are they using drones with some kind of scary costume?
That would be my guess, that there's some kind of drones like that, yes. But without not the chains and skulls and stuff. But
sadly, this is where the sound of aliens seems more plausible than miners flying around on jetpacks. Even some...
Yeah, but miners with drones is completely reasonable. Well, throw shade. People be using drones to pull pranks on people and scare them for decades now.
On Reddit sums it up great. In my opinion, whatever is going on in this village, it is no hoax, as it seems these people are actually going through some kind of crazy event, whether it's aliens or something else. Unless they come forward to show how these so-called miners pulled this off for 2 weeks straight without being caught, I think I'm on the fence with this one. Since this story broke, there still continues to be.
See, and the lady's showing pictures from Brazil, or the video from Brazil again. This has nothing to do with
South America. And if there are any major updates, I will do another video. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Please let me know your thoughts about this crazy story.
Yeah, so now before we wrap up Cryptic Corner, as I like to do, let's visit the village of San Antonio, Peru. Pretty industrialized little village, it looks like. Hillsides are covered with foliage. Plants look like it looks like an arid environment for the most part. It does look like it's warm enough for tropical plants to flourish here as well, though. So come on, get me back out in the road. I guess this is Land's End here. So you can see it's, you know, it's an industrialized little town, but it's not far from the country and from the hills. Peru is pretty montane, and some places are more developed than others, as you can see. Got lots of cover for people to hide in, pulling nonsense pranks. We got some lions up on top of that building there. Yeah, and if you want to see where it's located at, let's spin you around. Oh, there you go. So this is on south of Lima, and on the Pacific coast. So, yeah. Just a quaint little village, San Antonio, Peru. Right here. The township proper is everything within this box, right? So, yeah, that's what we're looking at. That is what we are looking at. So, what do you all think about the face peelers? About the Peruvian face peelers? What do you all think? Are they aliens? Are they miners with jetpacks doing a Scooby-Doo? Or is it somebody pulling a prank with some drones and some silly costumes? It'd be certainly dangerous to go do that in this. I mean, they were shooting. There was gunfire. Whoever's doing this is getting shot at. You have to be pretty committed to that gold mining operation to take some bullets. And especially if you're flying around in a $100,000 jetpack or hovercraft thing, 100,000, 300,000 or more. Yeah. All right. So that was Cryptic Corner for this evening. Thank you so much for joining me, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and yeah, if you found this interesting, tune in next time. Maybe come in here tomorrow morning for Live from the Hive, Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I will see you there. Please remember to be kind, take care, and we'll see you next time. All right. So, that was the end of Cryptic Corner. Definitely not the end of Live from the Hive, just the first segment of Live from the Hive. We got a lot more show to come, so don't go anywhere, because coming up next is going to be some Creation Watch, where video games become the devil. Video games are the enemy. So after this short intermission, I will see you guys over in Creation Watch.
There are moments when we cannot believe that what is happening is really true. Pinch yourself and you may find out that it is.
This heat is just driving me crazy. I don't know if I can take much more.
The condition of retrogradation is contrary or inharmonious to the regular direction of actual movement in the zodiac.
The film which you are about to see is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 5 youths. For them, an idyllic summer afternoon drive became a nightmare. It is all the more tragic in that they were young. But had they lived very, very long lives, they could not have expected, nor would they have wished to see as much of the mad and macabre as they were to see that day. The events of that day were to lead to the discovery of one of the most bizarre crimes in the annals of American history.
marginalized people so unwilling to have calm, philosophical debates about whether they should have rights? Are they afraid of dangerous ideas?
Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to Creation Watch, where we explore the wild world of creationism and the people who believe in it, and the other things that that kind of branch off from that. We talk about things like young Earth, flat Earth, demonic possession, biblical entities. We also delve into Vedic science and other religious ideas as well, and kind of put them under the scrutiny of the scientific exploration and see what actually holds water. Today, we're talking about something that I find a lot of joy in, and that is the Diablo series, which I've been playing since I want to say 1999, maybe earlier than that. It might have been 98. But I've been playing Diablo for a long time. I didn't come in for Diablo 1. I missed the doorway on that. But Diablo 2, I've logged so many hours playing Diablo 2. So I know a lot about the lore of Sanctuary and stuff. I used to have comic books and novels set in Sanctuary when I was younger. I was really into it. So there's a new Diablo game came out with Lilith, right? And a couple months ago, KFC did some promotion with it, and evangelicals lost their shit over it. So we're gonna watch what they had to say. I got a couple of videos about it, and let's hear what they had to say about the Diablo series and how it's evil. All right, we're gonna start with what's his name? James Lasher here.
Hello, everyone. I'm James Lasher, staff writer for Charisma Media. I want to talk to you today about something that's particularly close to my heart, but also something that's been trending across America recently. In the news, we've seen boycotts spread like wildfire across America as companies such as Target, Kohl's, and Bud Light have suffered billions of dollars in losses. But there's one that's kind of flown under the radar that not many people are talking about because many aren't even aware of it. And that's sadly Kentucky Fried Chicken. They recently started...
I think the boycott of Budweiser, the conservative mob thinks they want to take credit for that, but, you know, when they turned their back on Dylan Mulvaney after the backlash, when they just abandoned her, they lost the support of the LGBTQ community too. So they were getting boycotted from both ends. And when Target moved their Pride collection to the back of stores, under the pressure of terrorists who came into the store, harassed their employees, destroyed their displays, when they buckled to that, again, Target lost the support. Not only did they still not have the support of the boycotters, the people who were throwing the fit, they also lost the support of the LGBTQ community and their allies, right? Because they didn't stand by them in the situation. That's the problem with rainbow capitalism.
Started their second promotion with video game corporation Activision Blizzard, headquartered in Irvine, California. Blizzard is known as being one of the dominant computer-based games and has spread to consoles as well. And now
Blizzard is not a game; it's a game company. Warcraft is one of their StarCraft, the Diablo series. Those are their big franchises that they produce. Blizzard does other stuff too, but those are the ones that I always played.
First release on June 6, 2023 is the video game Diablo 4. Kentucky Fried Chicken is partnering with them where you have to connect their digital accounts and you can't even get their promotions inside the store. Why, you might ask? Because Diablo 4 is steeped in the demonic and Satanism. The main character, the demon Lilith, which just so happens to be a real demonic entity, is plastered all over.
Prove it! Real demonic entity where? in your deliverance ministry when you have somebody come in and say, oh, I'm possessed with the spirit of Lilith? Is that what you're talking about? As a real demonic entity? This is Charisma News, by the way.
Blizzard's promotional videos, even using celebrities to promote it using music videos and social media. Along with the links to Ashtoreth and the pagan gods affecting American society today,
the pagan gods affecting
biblical links to spiritual.
The pagan gods affecting. Keep up, guys. Keep up, Hive. The pagan gods affecting American today. He just says it so matter of factly, like this is just a known fact that pagan gods. Is he talking about the American gods? Has he been watching the American gods? Is that what's going on here?
Demons in this game series. Notably, the three main antagonists are the Lords of Hell, and the three primary ones are Diablo, who references the devil himself, Mephisto, whose name is also linked to demonic entities, and Baal, the pagan god that Elijah did spiritual warfare against.
They just used the names of famous demons and gods for their characters. Lots of series do that. God of War. Have you played God of War? It has a lot of entities and characters from different mythology. You're reading a lot into this. You're mad because they're using your mythology and demons from your mythology in their game. Sorry, dude. It's still just a game. That's not the Baal in the game is not the Baal from the Bible that. Who was it? Isaac. Anyway, it's not the same character. Baal, and they're not. They're called the three prime evils. They're not. They're not just like demons from hell. There are the lords of hell, and there's three of them, and they're the prime evils.
And his prophets in
and
the Bible.
Brothers.
This is a spiritual warning to the gaming community that I hold very close to my heart because I was a member of it for 3 decades of my life. Many Christians aren't aware, although they suspect that many of the video games today are steeped in this demonism, which is true. Some games are so...
I remember the games Devil May Cry. I had a co-worker at a factory I worked at when I was a teenager. And he wouldn't play he quit playing Devil May Cry because his girlfriend or something like that. It was really weird because it has pentagrams in it, I guess.
Dark that I myself wasn't even able to finish them. Some titles such as The Witcher 3 and now the new Diablo 4, if you simply watch the cinematics, you'll see the occult, witchcraft, sorcery, and necromancy,
The
which
Witcher.
the Bible warns Christians against. It wasn't until I
But they're
finally
not
caved
real,
to
dude.
Holy Spirit convictions that I gave that lifestyle up. And I have to say, it was a very rewarding experience for me. However, there are many who simply enjoy the games for what they are, fast-paced escapes from reality, that are ignorant of the spiritual implications that come with...
There's no such thing as spiritual implications, so don't worry. This is fear-mongering. There's no spiritual implications for playing a video game.
Engaging in this type of activity, while many also simply don't view Christians as a reliable source. Recent studies done by the Barna Group has found those of no faith view Christians as too critical, judgmental, and hypocritical. Understandable. But now there's a spiritual oppression that is just saturating American culture today.
But there's not.
We see it in all aspects of society, from the economic to the political. And now, as the month of June kicks off, being Pride Month, the phrase that Kentucky Fried Chicken and Blizzard are having on all their banners, Lilith welcomes all, the demonic entity at the head of this video game, is very similar to the LGBTQ plus ideology statement.
She's LGBTQ. Lilith is an LGBTQ role model, I guess. Who knew?
Where they are welcoming and accepting of all genders. This is no coincidence. The month of June, historically, is the month of Ashtoreth, or the Sumerian goddess Ishtar. If you want to learn more about that, we have a link in the description where Rabbi Jonathan Cahn goes in depth about the pagan gods and goddesses that are affecting American culture today. Feel free to click on that, and you'll be surprised at just how in-depth he goes on what's affecting American culture. There is spiritual danger.
I gotta say, there's a danger in cutting off or telling Baptist people not to eat Kentucky Fried Chicken.
in what Blizzard and Kentucky Fried Chicken is promoting. As America is enduring a mental health and identity crisis of untold proportions, there's a spiritual aspect that nobody is talking about today. And that is when you open the door to your heart to allow these demons to influence, oppress, and torture you. And that can manifest itself through mental illnesses such as depression, anger, even suicide. This game, Diablo 4, exposes players.
I would like to see your data on the Diablo series linked to suicide. Is there data on that? That, hey, people who play Diablo, they commit suicide. I want to know.
To this spiritual oppression. It can torment them mentally. Many in the gaming community flock to these video games because it's a source of escapism. Many in the community feel like they are social outcasts. They may not have any friends in the real world, but they're able to join community.
Calling out freaking gamers, oh, they might not have real you don't know. You don't know at all. Stop it. This idea that people play video games must be like shut-in losers who don't socialize is super weird. And anymore, the real world and the digital world have just crossed over, especially since COVID. There's no fine line. It's just a gray area.
That accept them for who they are. Unfortunately, that simply isn't the reality of who God designed them to be. In gaming, you're not the avatar that you take the form of. You're not the hero running across the world of Sanctuary in Diablo 4. That's simply a lie. The reality is that they want to mask this demon, Lilith, as the bad guy, yet many are flocking to this entity as fans of it, saying, oh, how cool is Lilith as a character? As Christians, I feel it is our duty, according to the Bible, to be the watchman on the wall, to shine a light into this darkness that is affecting America and now is targeted at the gaming community especially. On June 6th, this video game will sell millions of copies worldwide.
You're damn right it will.
It's going to be a hit. But that doesn't mean Christians can't take the initiative and start engaging in spiritual warfare against the principalities, powers, and rulers of darkness that are the root cause behind this movement.
Which is game production, I guess. Principalities and dark powers making video games for kids and young adults to play. I love the Diablo series. It's got a rich mythology built into it that they explore. And Diablo 3 started to get more into a early Middle Ages kind of idea, whereas the second game was more of a post the fall of Rome kind of feel to it. You know, the first game was very medieval, so medieval to the early medieval to the I don't want to say Enlightenment, but early Middle Ages is where the series went so far. I haven't played the Diablo 4 yet, but I've played Diablo 3, you know.
Satan is working to desensitize not just the gaming industry, but society in general to the true dangers of demonization and Satanism. It is a very real spiritual war going on that is affecting America today. We can see it in all aspects. As gender ideology becomes more radical, as children are being targeted and mutilated.
Gender ideology has nothing to do with Kentucky Fried Chicken or Blizzard or Diablo. It's so weird that he's linking them together like that. All things I don't like are LGBTQ now. All things I don't like are woke. It's woke is the word that they like to use for everything now. Even though woke is generally, at least it was coined to describe issues of oppression, mostly racial oppression, in its original form. So it was never meant to apply to the LGBTQ, but it's been co-opted and applied that way anyway. But it's all woke now to these guys.
And chemically castrated, even those who may not believe in God or have Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior.
What the hell was that about chemically?
Even those who may not, we can see it in all aspects. As gender ideology becomes more radical, as children are being targeted and mutilated and chemically castrated,
Citation, please. I swear, how do they get away with spreading this misinformation? No children are being chemically castrated. No children are being mutilated. What are you talking about? Oh, so it's generally any kind of surgical intervention for trans youth is taking place after they're 18, like 16 or 17. That young women are getting the majority, like young women are getting breast reductions and breast implants even from the age of 16 up. Most of them cis, but you don't hear complaints about that. That's not mutilating children they're talking about. So if that's not mutilating children, then I don't know what is. Are they talking about? Because the only people who are getting genital reconstruction are generally people who are born intersex with ambiguous genitalia, and they make that decision with the doctor and the parents, which maybe they shouldn't be doing, because is that the mutilation you're talking about? Because I could definitely get behind that argument, but I think what you're talking about is something that's a boogeyman that people have made up to scare you into thinking that that puberty blockers are chemical castration, when they're really not. That's not shown to be the case at all. And if you go off puberty blockers and don't go into an HRT treatment plan, you will go through your natural puberty as you would have without the puberty blockers, and you will resume your development just fine. It doesn't castrate you or make it so you can't go through that development. That's a boogeyman. That's a made up scenario that just doesn't hold water.
Those who may not believe in God or have Jesus Christ as their Lord.
How am I fucking talking about trans issues in a video about Diablo having evil demons attached to it? I got 2 videos about this, and if the other one drags up LGBTQ issues again, I'm going to pull my hair out.
And Savior are witnessing the effects that it is having across the globe. Well, it's time for Christians to stop standing on the sidelines and being apathetic about what is going on and waving a judgmental finger. This message is not in judgment or criticism of the gaming community. Again, a community I was a part of for decades. This is a message out of love, warning you about the implications that will arise engaging in video games and occultic practices like this. As Christians, we must intercede on behalf of those who don't know any better. Jesus came and died and rose again to bridge.
Jesus came and died, so he's like a salmon. Once he does his deed, once he spreads his seed, he dies. He came, he died, and then he rose again to come again.
The gap so that these people can be saved. He loves them, and we need to.
Sorry, I'm being extra vulgar because this guy makes me want to be vulgar and offensive to his Christian values, because he wants to tie everything into LGBTQ shit like a total moron.
Express that same love to the gaming community, even if they aren't aware or think we're ridiculous for suggesting such a thing.
You are ridiculous.
However, the love of Jesus is more powerful than the demonic forces behind games such as Diablo.
Is it though? I bet Blizzard is making more money than a Bible printing press, right?
Diablo 4. If we reach out, even in prayer and fasting, and to intercede on the behalf of these people, there will be a difference made in the spiritual realm. We need to engage them. We need to sit down and talk with them, not isolate them, not push them away, and not dismiss them. That's how many in communities across society today have come to the conclusion that Christians are just judgmental and hypocritical. That needs to change. We need to take the initiative. We need to go out into our communities.
I gotta appreciate Cast It Out live, or Cast It Out, Prester Greg Locke live. Ooh, wow. Greg Locke.
We need to show them the love of Jesus. If they reject it, that is their decision. It's our decision.
But you're not showing love when you spread misinformation about the trans community and about what the trans experience. And when you link it to freaking video games, it's a weirdo. You're just a weird guy. I don't know why you guys link everything to the trans folks. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Are we all demonic? Is that the notion here? Because you said Lilith was Lilith welcomes all. Is that is the LGBTQ? I wouldn't mind Lilith being our spokesperson. She looks badass. Anyway, this was this Lasher guy, James Lasher. Let us move on to the next one, who is, his name's Vlad Savchuk.
64. What does Lilith, as mentioned in Isaiah 64 as a night demon, considered by some as Adam's first wife, has to do with Diablo 4 game?
She's a character in the game. Different. She doesn't have the same history and lore as Lilith from your Bible. Don't worry. She's just named after her. Just named after her. That's
Game
all.
currently being endorsed and promoted by KFC. Now, the Diablo games have been around for a while, starting when they were released first in January 1997. And back then, people didn't really accept the game's openly satanic themes and stories. But things have really changed. Stuff that used to be strange and impossible, like occult, Satanism, witchcraft, radical gender ideas, have
Back during the Satanic Panic.
become mainstream and strongly influenced American culture today. These are
Blame it on the craft. That's what did it for my generation. All us little goth kids were like, yeah, we're going to reject this Christian idea that these are that other entities are all evil and use that to throw it back in your face, my friend. Yeah.
ideas are also so widely accepted in the USA that even the KFC feels very confident in teaming up with Blizzard to promote the real character of the Lilith demon, a creature mentioned.
No, the character from the video game, dude. From Diablo 4. Lilith, the character from that. Not Lilith from the Bible. Just the name and the fact that she's, a female mother of demons character, I guess. There was a Lilith character on Supernatural, too. I used to watch that show quite a bit.
As I already have said, Isaiah 34. As you can see, KFC website, this is not some kind of a demon website. This is a KFC fast food chain restaurant website. Has a promotion going on right now, My Diablo Rewards. So if eating the junk food is not bad enough already, now you can have a little cherry on the top of the cake. You can be a part of the promotion campaign.
Again, you are not going to win over, at least not in the U.S., the Baptist community by demonizing fried chicken. I'm going to tell you right now. Because I've been to, different events at different churches throughout my life, funerals and weddings and all kinds of stuff like that. And I'll tell you what, those people tend to love their fried chicken with mashed potatoes and gravy. And sides of corn on the cob or macaroni and cheese and macaroni salads and things like that. People love those in the Baptist community. If it's not a fish fry, it was always or a turkey dinner for a holiday. It's always like fried chicken because it's cheap and easy to make for a whole lot of people too.
And get a little Lilith and as well as other characters that are technically or supposedly fighting the Lilith, which are demons themselves, as part of your package of eating at KFC.
None of the character classes that you can choose from in Diablo are demons. They're all human characters. Lies. Is it just I can only speak to that being the Baptist community around here, or the I would even maybe extend it to all Protestants in the U.S. maybe with the love of fried chicken. I don't know. I don't want to be considered like I'm just talking about when they have their gatherings and stuff. I don't want to over simplify and say it's the overall trend. But yeah, with chicken being a cheap source of protein for a meal of serving large groups of people. Yeah. Sounds like a black family reunion, Maya.
KFC. Now, the company that promotes and creates this Diablo 4 video game on their website talks about this game. It has a commercial, which I'm not going to play, but it has this text that pretty much summarizes what this game is about. Lilith has returned to Sanctuary, summoned by a dark ritual after her lengthy exile. Before you begin to wander the 5 massive regions of Diablo 4, as a barbarian, druid, necromancer, rogue, or sorcerer, to undo the agony Lilith exacted on the world she helped create. We urge you to reuse this launch guide and let it aid you in your triumph over evil. So,
not a triumph over evil. That's satanic. Yeah, because your God's the bad guy in the story, and your story is the bad guy. But yeah. In this game, though, the Primevals and Lilith are the bad guys. So your character is the good guy. You want to save Sanctuary. You want to save this world.
Pretty much this game, Diablo 4, focuses on Lilith coming back because of some magic
oh my God,
and ritual.
I love turkey chili so much. I like ground turkey chili. Oh. Yeah, sometimes, so most of the time I try to eat pescatarian, but when it comes to chili, I'll eat turkey. I eat birds on occasion, probably at least once a week. I'm not gonna lie, but I am trying to limit the meat intake in my diet because it's always overblown.
That was accomplished, and now as a player, you can become one of the 5 characters, and you can customize them to help you fight this demon.
You always could customize your Diablo character, and you can get like buffs and stuff from the different armors and things. That's what I always loved about Diablo, was like trading armors and weapons and things like that, and getting upgrades that help boost your power. Hey, Dick Dawson, did you know video games are demonic? Stick around.
Surprisingly, each one of these 5 characters that fights Lilith are demons themselves. The barbarian is a strong warrior who fights up close with powerful weapons.
How is that a demon? Explain how the barbarian is a demon. A barbarian, literally a archetype in our modern society that is a warrior of that's supposed to reflect like a northern Germanic kind of a character, or in more modern times it's generally reflected as like Conan the Barbarian from the Schwarzenegger series, is what people think of when they think of barbarian, but nobody thinks of them as demons. Barbarians are not demons. He's going to attack the druid now.
Is a strong warrior who fights up close with powerful weapons. The druid is a nature-focused character who can transform into animals like bears and werewolves. The
Yeah, the druid, I was so stoked when the druid come out and you could turn into a werewolf. It was like I was wolfing out everywhere. My character was always in werewolf form because I had like a werewolf thing. I still do, if you haven't noticed. A necromancer was before the druid came out, though. The necromancer was my character class. I think if I picked up the game again, I'd definitely be a necromancer because this woman looks freaking amazing. I love her hair and the tattoo, or her face markings, and her eye makeup, and her earrings, and her whole aesthetic is rocking.
Necromancer, which the name should tell you what that is. It's a character who controls people who died. They raise skeletons, command them to fight, and use curses to weaken enemies. The rogue is a fast and sneaky character who excels at ranged combat. And
yeah, she's an archer. Yeah, you said the characters are demons themselves. She excels at ranged combat. Certainly this is demonic.
The sorcerer is a character who specializes in magic. What does the Bible teach us about these things? Well, first and foremost, I want to address the issue of Lilith. The Lilith has...
Again, it's a game. These aren't the same characters from your Bible, but go on.
Been this figure that has been debated on and talked about in mythologies and so many other things. Some people actually believe that Lilith is Adam's wife. It comes from Jewish mythology, where Lilith is seen as a supernatural figure associated with darkness, demons, and seduction. They claim she was the first wife of Adam before Eve, and she refused to submit to Adam, and therefore she went in.
Yeah, that's the folklore about it. Some will claim it's a Middle Age folklore, but references to Lilith as the mother of demons goes back to, I believe, at least back as far as like Assyrian mythology, right? But as far as her being the first wife of Adam and all that lore, I think that we can only trace it back so far, but it is part of the Jewish lore about, at least for some sects,
into rebellion. Their reference for that, and this actually comes from some Jewish scholars. Not everybody believes or accepts that in Jewish community, but still that idea is there. That in Genesis chapter 1, men and women were created on the same day from clay. But in Genesis chapter 2, it seems to show that God created a man and then he created a woman from a man. So some of these Jewish commentators in the Jewish Midrash, which Midrash is actually a Jewish body of like a commentary on the scripture, what they actually...
Yeah, it's like the, like people, the scholars' collective interpretations and thoughts on the scripture.
Do to reconcile these two chapters of Genesis that seem to contradict themselves at first. They say that these are two separate events, rather two accounts of the same event, and they say that Adam's first wife, Lilith...
Right, there you go. Jewish mythology as opposed to Christian truth. Exactly. That's the way that modern Christians think. All right, D, you have a good day.
Rebelled, and therefore God went and created the second wife for Adam. Now, the Talmud, which is a central Jewish text for Jewish law and tradition, doesn't say anything about Lilith being Adam's wife, but it does mention her 4 times. Babylon Talmud text refers to Lilith as a female demon who is associated with causing harm to newborn infants and pregnant women. But what does the Bible say about Lilith? Well, actually, there is a verse in the Bible, Isaiah 34, verse 14. It says the following: "The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the jackals, and the wild goat shall bleat to its companion, and the night creature shall rest there, and find for herself a place of rest." Some English translators use the term Lilith.
So I think those references to different night creatures and stuff, I believe, have a broader range of interpretations. They talk about owls and stuff like that too. Different dragons, I think, in some interpretations they use dragons. So,
while others translate with terms like owl, night creature, night bird, or night monsters. So what do we take away from this Lilith promotional thing with KFC? Well, first of all, I think that KFC is trying to ride what's happening in the culture, and they see this as just a game. But at the same time, demonic agenda is behind that to desensitize.
It's all demonic. Listen, Blizzard is, I think after watching these videos, I'm just convinced that Blizzard is a demonic entity in and of itself. The demon Blizzard will be the next one in the game. Lilith has connections to Ishtar, Inanna. Yeah. Isis, Astarte, Ishtar, Inanna. There used to be this chant that I knew from back in the day.
Our culture, and to make it seem like these things, these demons, necromancy, sorcery, witchcraft, Lilith, they're just figures of speech representing evil, and we're all...
They're just cultural representatives of what people think of when they think of demons and evil entities, is how they pick the names of these characters, and then they build a character design on it and give them different powers. All the primevals and lesser evils have designations. There's Prince of Pain is Duriel. There's Diablo's the Lord of Terror. Baal's the Lord of Destruction. Yeah, so they all have different titles and things like that. They're just characters based on cultural references. You're being weird, dude.
War with evil. They actually want to push this idea that you can fight evil with evil. My 3 takeaways. First
It's not
one,
evil.
Lilith is
Barbarians aren't evil. The druids aren't evil. They draw their power from nature magic. I guess you could say the necromancers are evil, but they don't like worship the demons or anything. They work with spirits and use them to animate skeletons and stuff. What else was there? The rogues, she's the archer, and maybe the sorceress you think is evil, but again, she's pulling elemental magic. She's not pulling demonic magic. None of them are. The other characters that have appeared in the series, demon hunters, you literally hunt down and kill demons. The assassins didn't use any demonic magic. I think the witch doctor might have had some demons on his side. I'm not sure.
Is a demon. I do believe that, not only because we've done deliverances and Lilith came out as a demon.
There it is. Someone said Lilith in their deliverance ministry, so that's why they think it's real. This is all about deliverance for these people. If you don't know what deliverance is, it's where someone comes into their church and says they're demonically possessed, and everybody lays hands on them. Sometimes they get a Bible beating and they speak in tongues or creepy voices and say they're demons, and not just demons from biblical mythology. They'll also say they're gods from other religions, that they're Loki and Thor, or even fictional characters. It gets really bizarre. Rasputin, I've heard Rasputin was just a dude, not a demon. But yeah, deliverance ministry, that's where it comes from.
But also, we see this throughout the history and other deliverance ministers, and we see this mentioned in the Bible. Lilith is an unclean spirit that seems to haunt people in dreams of the night and visions of the day. Lilith can appeal to men in the likeness of a woman, and to women in the likeness of a man. Lilith seems to attack...
Wait. I want both. Can she do both? Lilith, if you can do both, call me.
People in their sexual and reproductive realms of life. Lilith attacks children, childbearing, through miscarriage, and sometimes causing people not to have children. Lilith...
I don't know about any lore of her attacking children. Most of the lore I hear about Lilith is like a seductress, like a incubus, succubus kind of character, you know.
Seduces men to drain their essence. In fact, it was believed that when she sleeps with men, she steals their seed to impregnate herself to produce demonic offsprings. While
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, never heard about her attacking children, but yeah, she does steal seed. Maybe that's why she's not coming and visiting me, because I had a vasectomy. Sorry, Lilith, I can't help you out there. We could have a lot of fun, though. We could have like hours of fun.
I know that demons can't produce demons. One thing is certain. Many people have experienced demonic intrusion in their sleep through sexual repeated dreams. And once they experience deliverance, those dreams stop. The second takeaway is spiritual warfare.
Is this why you think that we have nocturnal emissions? Because that's what this folklore is about, the demon stealing your seed. It's about having nocturnal emissions. That's where ejaculation happens while you're sleeping, usually stimulated by a dream. It's nocturnal emissions. And then they're like, oh, I guess a demon came in and gave you a hand job in your sleep, and that's what that is. And people are like, oh, okay. And and now it's 2023, and you're still saying it. You're still saying it here, Vlad.
Warfare is not a game. Spiritual world is real. There is evil.
Spiritual warfare is not real. In a spiritual world is not real either. I challenge anybody to prove to me that the spiritual world exists.
And good, Satan and God. Satan is a defeated foe. He is a created creature who rebelled against God and who opposes God's will, God's ministers, and God's church. We are in a cosmic conflict battle between evil and good, Satan's will and God's will. Satan
See, and I don't believe in Satan's will or God's will either. You haven't demonstrated either of those. This is just a video game, buddy. It's not going to hurt you. It actually might be fun for you. You might enjoy punching demons and casting curses on devils. Maybe that would be therapeutic for you, since I know you spend a lot of time cosplaying it in your deliverance ministry. So practicing doing some deliverance of Sanctuary in Diablo 4, as you seem like you might enjoy being a barbarian character. Maybe not, though. There used to be a character called a paladin that might appeal to you. You might consider yourself a paladin. Sad that the paladin didn't make it into any of the new versions of the game, though. They were a really cool character. It's like a crusader. And they had like holy bolts and auras that they could cast. They were pretty cool.
Demons and evil people will have their will, and they are responsible for their will. And what happens on this earth is not always consistent with God's character as revealed in Jesus. Jesus opposed disease, demons, and disasters originating from the will of Satan, fallen angels, not from God. God has already won, but we are called to wage spiritual warfare against evil through prayer, evangelism, and deliverance. Church is a warship, not just a cruise ship for pleasure.
God won, but there's still evil, guys. What the heck? Just for us, though. We have to deal with the evil. God's like, deal with it.
We are soldiers, not slaves. We don't win this war by participating in a video game. We don't win this war by eating junk food from KFC. We win.
Again, fried chicken. Calling fried chicken junk food is not going to win you over. People love their fried chicken. People love it. Jesus is my wet dream, Vlad. That's from Stephanie Helms.
This war through prayer, through spiritual warfare, through evangelism, and setting the captives free through deliverance. The third thing that I want you to keep in mind is that you can defeat demons like Lilith with other demons like necromancy. Demons are
necromancy is not demons, it's spirits. In the lore of the game, there's no demons involved in the practice of necromancy. You're confusing necromancy and sanctuary with how necromancy works in your Bible. That's two different things. Sanctuary is not Earth. It's a fictional, magical place.
Removed by the power of the Holy Spirit, according to Matthew 12:28. Demons are removed in the name of Jesus, according to Mark 16:17. And demons are removed by being cast out of people, according to Matthew 8:16, Matthew 9:33,
Jesus
10,
is crushing
1,
her head.
10:8.
What the heck? Jesus just like, he's doing like a Jason Voorhees. Holy moly. It's demonology, not Pokemon. Exactly.
12:28. And so many other verses. Demons are not removed by spells. Demons are not removed by conjuring up some powers. Demons are not removed by physical weapons. And therefore, this idea that portrays spirit.
It's like, I'm sorry, baby, I didn't mean it. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, sweetie.
Spiritual warfare. I know it could be attractive to so many people, but I would encourage you to stay away from that. If you really want to fight demons, become a Christian. Get filled with the Holy Spirit. Live a holy life. Embrace your authority as a believer and cast out demons. That is the real way of taking part in spiritual warfare. The Bible says we should not take part in the works of darkness. This may seem like a naive game, but I do believe it opens people to a demonic influence, as well as
Bye, Dick Dawson.
Desensitizes our culture toward things that are real, dangerous, and mean harm to us as humans. The Bible calls them demons. If you're playing this game, stop playing it and join Jesus's mission. That's not a game.
Why stop playing it? It's just a game, just for fun, like chess. Yeah. So it's like playing because one of the teams is black and one of the teams is white. Maybe is chess evil?
But real life of preaching the gospel
Are you into Pac-Man from Super Mario Brothers?
Making disciples and casting out demons. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you found this to be encouraging, enlightening, and educational. Don't forget.
I found it to be funny and silly and entertaining. I hope you did too, because that was Creation Watch. We had Vlad to wrap things up there for us. So, is Diablo demonic? No, Diablo's been around for a long time. It's fiction. It's a fake mythology and fake deities and entities. There's heaven and hell, right? But they're not the same kind, like heaven and hell from the Bible. That's just kind of an outline for how this world's set up. But as we saw, KFC didn't succumb to demonic influence, and they're still peddling their chickens, and the KFC bowls are delicious. But I'm actually craving mashed potatoes now because of this video. But maybe I'll have some Lilith mashed potatoes or something. What do you guys think? Do you think the characters that you play in Diablo are supposed to be demonic? Which character class and why? Do you think that Lilith is from the game is supposed to be the same Lilith from the Bible? Do you think Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal are supposed to be the same entities from our mythology? No, they're not. If you believe that, you don't understand the mythology. So, yeah. Leave your comments below if you disagree with me about the devil in video games. This has been Creation Watch. Please make sure you join us Friday night for CryptoCorner, and then return back here on Saturday morning for Live from the Hive. Please remember to be kind, take care, and I will see you next time. All right, don't go anywhere. I saw when I ended CryptoCorner, people were like, bye, see you later. No, I still have more show to go. 2 more segments, actually. They won't be as, well, at least one of them won't be as long. But we got to get through it because we got some eco news. Or not eco news, sorry. Eco news to go over, and you all are going to like this. And then we have a video that I'm going to do that's not super long, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a new kind of segment. So stick around for that. I think you guys will like what I'm going to do here. It's going to be science. So let me have an intermission here. I'm going to wet my whistle and play you guys some tunes. And I will see you in just a few. Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to a little bit of eco news tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. We do have some creepy crawlies on here for you, so I'm excited to present to you some new ecological discovery. Giant grasshoppers have descended on New Zealand, and it's great news. This isn't an alien invasion, it's a triumphant homecoming. All right. One of the largest insects in the world is making a triumphant return to New Zealand. The Wetapunga, which is Dinocrita heteracantha, predates the dinosaurs, but was nearly wiped out in the 1840s following the introduction of new predators to their native island. Now, captive breeding program is returning them to New Zealand with hopes the species can become established once more. The Wetapunga is the largest of over 70 species of Weta that are unique to New Zealand. Explains the Auckland Zoo. The institution knows its Wetas, being behind the recent release of 300 juvenile Wetapungas across 2 islands in the Bay of Islands. I hadn't heard of that, the Bay of Islands. All right. The release follows a captive breeding program that's been running since 2012, taking specimens from the Wetapunga's final stronghold on, I'm going to try this one, you all give me props or not, but it's Te Haturuturu Otoi, Little Barrier Islands in the Hauraki Gulf. While the most recent Wetapunga release wasn't the first, around 12,000 have been released since 2020. It was considered one of the most delicate, being the first to release juveniles rather than adults. The enormous insects join 7 other endangered species that have been returned to the island in recent years. As part of the Project Island Song, a community conservation group that has been working towards restoring the region's native flora and fauna for 2 days. And I got a big old giant picture of a Weta turd. We're bringing the Wetapunga back because they're a really important part of the ecosystem, and they've been missing for about 200 years. Project Island Song's general manager, Richard Robbins, told RNZ, "They're huge, one of the largest insects in the world, and they've coexisted with other species here on the island for millions of years. They were almost lost with just one remnant population left, so being able to be part of a larger program to bring them back is really special." Females are the larger sex of the Wetapunga and can double the average adult weight of 70 grams or 2.5 ounces. That's about the weight of a large chicken egg and is pretty staggering considering your typical grasshopper clocks in around 0.01 ounces or 300 milligrams. The idea of grasshoppers that weigh the weight of an egg descending on an island might sound a bit like an insect pit from Skull Island, but their return marks the return of an important ecosystem function that's been missing in their absence. As well as being huge, Wetapunga also produce poop pellets that may be the largest in the proportion to their body size of any animal in the world. All that poop equals a lot of nutrients, something ecosystems need for healthy soil. The invertebrates are the underdogs of the conservation world, but they are essential to healthy, functioning ecosystems, and without them, nothing works. Auckland Zoo ectotherm curator Don McFarland told RNZ. So a heartwarming tale of an endangered species' triumphant return, but not one quite as wild as when grasshoppers jacked up on fertilizer allegedly plagued Montana orchards in 1937. All right, so that was, excuse me, that was a little bit of eco news for your brains this morning, or this evening, this morning for the live from the Hive crowd sitting over here watching. But that was a little bit of eco news for your brains, a new insect introduction of an old species that's been gone for 200 years. We'll follow this and maybe follow up on it like we did with the Lord Howe Island stick insects. If you like these kind of videos, make sure you hit the thumbs up down there. Leave a comment letting me know that you want more bug conservation videos about restoration and a little glimmers of hope out there in the world. Please remember to be kind, take care, and I will see you next time. All right, live from the Hive audience, don't go anywhere. We got one more amazing segment that I'm going to pop into right now. And I've never done this before, but this video popped up on my feed, and it was just so awful that I couldn't not talk about it. It's called King Kong versus T-Rex, who would win. But the ape that they present is supposed to be Gigantopithecus. But we're gonna explore that a little bit. So buckle in, because this one really got my goose. And I hope you like me doing responses to bad paleontology and ecology videos, because I will continue to do so if you like it. Oh. Okay. So this is Brightside, is the production that's doing this. They do these weird little animations, but they're supposed to be educational, right? And they're supposed to have factual information in them. So I'm going to be a little bit nitpicky about this, because they need to get just a little bit of research goes a long way. All right. At first I read that as Flabby John. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, thank you, cutie pie. Here's the T-Rex, and I mean, it's weird because this wrist is pronated, but this one's not, or maybe they both are pronated. Anyway, dinosaurs don't have pronated wrists like this. They don't, like the Jurassic Park dinosaurs where they're rawr. They're not. Their arms are like this. Because that's where birds started flapping and suddenly you're flying. Yeah, but dinosaurs, theropods specifically, had wrists that went inward. Not like you're seeing here. All right. The video's muted. Okay, let me see. It doesn't. There's nothing of value is said, but
the ground below your feet is rumbling. You hear a scary roar in the distance and think to yourself, "Okay, this is it. This is how I go." A large Tyrannosaurus Rex is heading your way. Its massive jaws wide open. The creature is ready to swallow you whole, but only until a large ape.
Yeah, see the size of that Gigantopithecus fist. Well, I mean, your dude here he's pretty huge arms too. He's like got Popeye arms, but the Gigantopithecus, yeah, it had a big old punch.
Springs out of nowhere and blocks its path.
So pay attention to the height difference here, because Gigantopithecus is maximum height estimates, like high end. The high end estimates for Gigantopithecus is 9'8", right? Or roughly, it's roughly 3 meters tall. That's standing on its hind legs, which it wasn't. We don't believe it was bipedal. That's just not the current understanding. I mean, it may turn out at some point that changes, but right now, there's no reason to infer from its habitat and behavior that it was bipedal. But this video is going to depict it as bipedal the whole time. Now, 9 foot 8 inches, and he gives these guys some statistics here in a minute. And they're not accurate, but they're close enough. And the Tyrannosaurus is now the largest Tyrannosaurus is Scotty, and Scotty is 42 feet long and stands roughly 12 foot tall, 4 meters at the hip, which is going to be the tallest point. So having the Gigantopithecus standing taller than the T-Rex here, taller than the T-Rex's hip. No, it's the T-Rex is going to be like an order of magnitude bigger compared to the ape here.
The Gigantopithecus. It's an actual King Kong that disappeared around 100,000 years ago.
300,000 years ago. This must be older data that they're going off of. It's believed that Gigantopithecus. There's no evidence that it lived more than sooner than 300 million years ago. But yeah.
While the two creatures are trying to stare each other down, you quietly sneak off to hide behind the bushes.
While the Gigantopithecus is not going to do much better against the T-Rex than our Popeye guy, to be frank. The
animals are out in the open playing. That's where
again, it keeps showing these with the ape being taller than the theropod, and that's just not real.
The T-Rex has a home advantage. Tyrannosaurus rex means king of the tyrant lizards, and the creature deserves its name. This giant dino stood around 12 feet tall. It was also as long as a school bus, stretching 40 feet from nose to tail. It lived around 68 million years ago in North.
So, did not live 68 million years ago. The oldest is Trix, and Trix lived about 67 million years ago. So 68 million years ago has pushed it back just about a million years too far. Again, I said they gave stats that were pretty close. This is close, a lot closer than they were with the Giganto, because they said the Giganto lived three times closer to our time than it did. Where this is just off by 1/68th.
North America. Thanks to the shape of its skull, the T-Rex probably had good vision.
Excellent vision, yeah. T-Rex eyesight. That's what's so funny about the Jurassic Park thing. Its vision is based on motion. That's a weird feature to give to a T-Rex, which had amazing binocular vision. I think better binocular vision than any other theropod.
But scientists claim that the animal mostly relied on its strong sense of smell when it hunted for food. The huge ape bangs on its chest and lets out a terrifying low growl. The Gigantopithecus.
So, yeah, that's another thing I didn't even mention. When the T-Rex appears, it roared, but T-Rex's dinosaurs, as far as we know, they didn't do any kind of roaring. I mean, no more than any modern dinosaur roars. None of the sounds that they were supposed to make were roars. I don't know why it keeps kicking over to these tree-dwelling apes with gigantic melon heads.
Is the largest primate that has ever been discovered. It lived in the tropical jungles of southern China and some areas in Thailand.
And it did not look anything at all like a gorilla, like at all. It looked like a giant orangutan. It didn't live in trees. It probably did not have these proportions. This is definitely a model based on like a silverback gorilla, which is not what we expect when we talk about Giganto. It would have probably had of the flanges like you see on large male. If this was a large male, it'd have flanges like you see on a large male orang. Its facial portions would be different. Its dentition would be different. It wouldn't have quite as pronounced canines as you see in the gorilla. Its arm portions would be actually longer than the the model here. Although this looks more like, King Kong than any real ape. The legs would be shorter, though. The legs would be substantially shorter, based on what we know of the Pongidae family, right? Based on what we know on the pedigree of these animals. Now, a significant difference that we're going to have to talk about between these two animals is the weight difference. But let's see what happens, what they got to say about it.
When scientists discovered its jawbones, they noticed that the animal's teeth were meant to grind and chew. At the same time, the T-Rex had 60 razor-sharp serrated teeth, each
serrated teeth the size of bananas. I mean, that long. Just banana, banana-sized teeth. Yes, absolutely massive. And yeah, there's just no way. The bite force. What is the bite force? 35,000 newtons is the bite force of a Tyrannosaurus.
About 8 inches long. Anyway, a 12-foot tall dinosaur and a 10-foot tall ape are standing.
But you show them, and you show the ape is taller in your cartoon.
Facing each other. The fight is about to begin. The T-Rex charges toward the ape. Its speed isn't really high, which gives its opponent enough.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Enough time to duck and roll out of the way.
So, it's not impossible that a Gigantopithecus could do a roll like this. A shoulder roll is something that orangutans can do. Other apes do shoulder rolls too when they're engaging in play or in combat. So it's not unheard of. Calling the Tyrannosaurus slow, I imagine the Tyrannosaurus would be faster on foot than the ape. Tyrannosaurs, as of 2021, are supposed to have been clocked at a speed of around 17 miles per hour. Yes, I'm using miles. I'm sorry, I'm an American, and that's how I do it. But 17 miles an hour, which is pretty darn fast, considering the size of the animal. I don't know if we don't have any estimates on how fast Giganto would have been moving or lumbering around. It probably, again, would have moved on all fours. Not saying it would have been slow, but it would have probably done more short burst or been capable of more short bursts of speed than actual actual sprinting. Whereas the T-Rex probably could have retained a higher speed for a longer period of time.
Good for the Gigantopithecus. It wouldn't be a pleasant experience to be at the receiving end of the T-Rex's bite. The dino had a bite force.
It would instantly kill you because apes lack a paniculus carnosus, which is a layer of skin. Like, you know how you can pick a cat up by its scruff of its neck? Or grab a dog by the back of its neck, and you're not hurting it or anything because that skin's evolved to be grabbed and pulled. Bears have loose skin like that all over their body. A lot of seals do too. It's called paniculus carnosus, and it's something that apes only have really in any notable amount on their face and around your genitals. The rest of your body has none of it, which means, and it's really good for animals that deal with it. That they're going to be, if you're going to get clawed or you're going to get bit, it's really good at making sure you don't take a hella load of damage on that because the loose skin will pull instead of slicing. Like when a cat, for instance, sinks its claws into a dog, it just pulls a wad of skin with it. When a cat sinks its claws into you or any other ape or primate, it just drags it just drags it because there's hardly any of that paniculus carnosus to give it that stretch. And it'll do the same thing with bites. So we're really prone to being lacerated due to the nature of our skin. And this was actually thought to have evolved because we spend so much time in the trees that we get more scrape injuries than laceration injuries, and scrape injuries are actually heal better on non-stretchy skin because they can scab over. So that's why they believe that apes lost this. Yeah, I hope I'm teaching you guys some interesting facts about biology and evolution via this terrible bright side video. I sure hope so.
Of at least 6 tons. And no wonder, with such powerful jaw muscles. The T-Rex wasn't the fastest.
At least 6 tons is a good number, but it's 10 tons is the max. So between 6 would be a smaller T-Rex, which might be a more balanced match with the Gigantopithecus, considering that T-Rex can weigh up to 10 tons or 9,000 kilograms, whereas a Gigantopithecus, the maximum estimates, and these are the high end, and that's probably not exactly right, but max out at 300 kilograms. So again, 9,000 kilograms to 300 kilograms is the ape. So there's a huge weight disparity here, like an unforgivable weight disparity in facing these two animals off against each other. And that's if you push low estimates for the T-Rex of 6 tons and high estimates for the ape of that's 0.3 tons. Yeah, it's not even a full ton. So yeah.
Dino out there. It could only move at the average speed of 12 miles per hour. But the creature was flexible and rather smart. By the time the ape is back on its feet, the T-Rex is already charging at it. But the large ape manages to swing a punch at its opponent.
What is this ape, like a kung fu ape or something? Because, I mean, that uppercut, apes, like if you ever watch videos of two apes going at it, they do this thing like that. They're like, they're not doing 30s style boxing or kung fu or anything like that. They do arching, beating each other, and grabbing and biting. Again, they do that against predators too. You see like a gorilla or chimps going after an ape. I can't think of any time I've seen an orangutan go after a predator, like a leopard or anything. I can't think of any videos that I've ever seen where that happens. Generally, they run, they don't fight. So, and I'm not saying that Gigantopithecus wouldn't have been able to fight off other animals in its environment. I'm sure it's just its sheer size that could handle most predators that shared its environment. I had some information pulled up about it. Let me pull it up again. Yeah, Gigantopithecus. I want to say... Yeah, Gigantopithecus lived from 2 million to 350,000 years ago. So now the 100 million or 100,000 years was way off. Anyway, we'll get back to the
Its incredible force almost knocks the dino out. At least it's enough to make the T-Rex see some spinning stars flying around its head. The animal's tiny arms aren't long enough to respond.
Yeah, it's always about the T-Rex's tiny arms. But remember, a T-Rex's tiny arm is still bigger than my arm. Still stronger than my arm. Yeah, it's so, I mean, the arms had uses for in copulation, I'm sure, and probably in wrestling prey items. They weren't these little fragile toothpicks like they like to talk about them. Yeah, so.
Bonding kind. If this was an arm wrestling match, the ape would surely win without breaking a sweat.
Yeah, what's this crap? No, again, you're talking about a, even the small end, 6-ton Tyrannosaur against a 300 kilogram ape, right? So what does that transfer to? What's 300 kilograms? Is it about 660 pounds? Yeah, so it's there's people this size, right? I mean, big old people, but still, it's not out of the human range of size estimates, right? To be the size of a Gigantopithecus.
Actually, almost any animal could probably win hands down in an arm wrestling match against a T-Rex.
BS. I can't think of any mammal that would, maybe a Calicothere or a giant ground sloth. Not any ape. I can't think of any ape that could outarm a T-Rex. Even Gigantopithecus. It's not gonna. It's not putting its arms against T-Rex arms, right? It's putting its arms against T-Rex jaws.
But the dino hasn't been skipping leg day, that's for sure. Its massive limbs could probably squish a car, if there had been cars at that time. The ape sprints toward the fallen dinosaur, but gets smacked right in its face with the T-Rex's
So some species of dinosaurs did use their tails for defense, but it was not something that's known in Tyrannosaurs. They are generally not depicted as using their tails as club weapons. They don't have their vertebrae don't have the stress zones to handle using them as weapons. They're mostly used for balancing while moving and hunting, or doing any other activity used for balance. They wouldn't have, generally speaking, been swinging them around to smack other animals with. I mean, not that it couldn't happen, but...
Enormous tail. The ape flies upward. You have to throw your head back to watch its flight. And still, the animal manages to avoid any damage thanks to its powerful arms. The T-Rex...
And it's like ninjutsu skills. Did you see that backflip it did? It got smacked in the face and it did a backflip. This is Karate Monkey's, defying the laws of physics.
Has already risen and is now racing towards the Gigantopithecus. With nowhere to hide, the ape uses its long arms to hold the T-Rex's mouth closed.
No.
Meanwhile...
That's not going to happen. Because they keep... And again, take note that the Gigantopithecus is being depicted as taller. And there's a whole scale, a whole level of magnitude that this T-Rex should be bigger. This would be more... I might believe that this was like a small Tarbosaurus. That might... Or Nanocosaurus. How much did that Nanocosaurus weigh? Nanocosaurus. Sorry, Nanocosaurus is like one of my favorites too. 1,800 to 3,600 pounds. That'd be more like it, yeah. As far as it would be more fair than this. There's so many other dinosaurs that would be a much fairer, more reasonable fight. And other Tyrannosaurs too, for that matter. That would be a better match against. I think Allosaurus would be. Allosaurus isn't a Tyrannosaur, but I think Allosaurus would be a great match. How much did Allosaurus weigh? Allosaurus was so widespread and diverse too. Allosaurus weight. Let's see. What about what did they give you? About one ton. So Allosaurus would still be a little bit bigger than Giganto. You know, someone with a Thagomizer against an ape would be lights out for the ape.
Its opponent does its best to open its jaws. Soon, the dinosaur succeeds. It sinks its teeth into the ape's thigh and tries...
Ooh, you know what would be a good fight for Gigantopithecus? I just thought about it. A Dilophosaurus. Because they were kind of lithe. And they weighed, I think, about the same, right? They were 23 feet long. And where's the weight? 800, or with a weight of about 880 pounds. Dilophosaurus would be a good fight for Giganto, and it would not have the stupid deadly jaws. If you want to see that discussion, let me know, because I would love to have that discussion with my friend Dr. Dino. So let him know if you see him around that, yeah, we can talk about Dilophosaurus versus Gigantopithecus.
To shake the animal like a rattle. But the ape isn't that easy to defeat. It
okay,
begins
right here
on the dino's.
Right here, this leg is done. This leg is broken. And he's bleeding out. He's bleeding out from the puncture wounds, because remember, you see these teeth is the size of a banana. And really these this should be it. This should be the end of it. Yeah, the ape could throw some punches around while it lays there and bleeds out, but it's not coming back from this. This is done. This is the end of the fight.
Skull while keeping the T-Rex's mouth from moving. Now, keep in mind that this ape.
Now the T-Rex doesn't have to hold on to the ape anymore here. It could do like a shark does. Leave the damage, walk away for a while, come back after the ape's bled out and have its food, have its meal, be done. All it needed was one bite on this ape to end the fight.
Ape was at least 3 times bigger than the modern day gorilla and weighed
That is
more
not
than
a gorilla. What the heck? No, what is with this giant melon head? What is this ape? This does not look like a gorilla. I don't know what this is.
1,000 pounds. And still, nothing seems to be helping.
Wait a
The
second.
ape
Did they
is
just
getting
say that they
weaker
could weigh?
And times bigger than the modern day gorilla and weighed more than 1,000 pounds. And still, nothing seems to be helping. The ape is getting weaker. It's losing its strength.
It didn't weigh more than 1,000 pounds. Just to be clear, that's a really high estimate for Giganto, and even that is still just a mouthful for a 9-ton or even 6-ton. I said I'd give you the small end. Even a 6-ton Tyrannosaur, it's still a 1,000-pound ape is going to be just a mouthful, just conch. This would be it.
The animal then attempts to get rid of the dino's jaws on his thigh. It musters up all its energy and opens the T-Rex's mouth. After that, the ape quickly frees its leg from the teeth prison and
as soon as the leg's free, it just bleeds out and dies. That's what's going to happen, right? That's how nature works. It's not going to go Rocky 5 on him or whatever. Which one's the one where he goes like blast Mr. T's face all to pieces?
And breaks free. Without wasting any time.
Oh, did you see that? He stood on his broken, damaged leg to kick with his. Let's watch that again. Okay, he gets his thigh free.
Opens the T-Rex's mouth. After that, the ape quickly frees its leg from the teeth prison and breaks free.
Stands on the broken, damaged leg and kicks the T-Rex in the mouth.
Wasting any time, the creature throws several punches.
And see, he's doing this like boxer stance. That's not apes. Ape would be putting his shoulders forward. I'm going to be an ape for a second, okay? Check out my big titties. And he would be like, showing his fangs, and sticking his flanges out, like flapping them out. He'd be making himself look huge. He wouldn't be doing that. He'd be trying to intimidate, to make the T-Rex leave him alone to deal with his wounded leg if he got away. He'd be like, if he was, when he was hitting it, he would have been like that. Once he got it away, he would have been like that. He wouldn't pop up and start punching and kicking, right?
The T-Rex, knocking it to the ground. Soon, the dino can barely stand straight without falling over. It attempts to run away and have a rest, but the ape is too persistent. It isn't backing down. The T-Rex...
The ape would be, again, laying on the ground bleeding out at this point. But the T-Rex would probably do this. It would probably walk away to let the ape bleed out and then come back and eat it once it's dead. That would be the ecologically sound thing to do at this point. Maybe hang around nearby to make sure no other predators come and steal its kill.
Between 6 and 8 tons, and the bigger the animal is, the harder it goes down. But throwing all those punches is wearing the ape down. It starts to slow down. This buys the dino some time to recover. Once ready, it pushes the ape onto the ground with its massive head and tries to stomp the...
This would be the end. Steps on it and then bites it. Steps on it to hold him down, bites his head. Done. Fight over.
Opponent. The ape dodges and rolls out of the way. It even manages to grab one of the T-Rex's legs and flip the dino over.
Yeah. Again, a 300-kilogram ape grabbed the leg of a 9-ton theropod, or what do you say, 6 to 8 ton theropod, and flipped him. Oh, Ring's talking about doing the leg sweep now. It's too late. The leg sweep's done. T-Rex is on his back now.
But the ape's arms have become weaker after the struggle. The T-Rex...
This is done too. And again, the T-Rex's head would be as big as the ape's chest.
Manages to get up.
It would be all the way over to his nipple is how far this head would reach, crunching into this ape, and if they were actually scaled. And again, these bites here, the bite on the shoulder, the bite on the thigh, this is a broken shoulder, multiple lacerations, whether he pries it off or not, multiple lacerations.
And bites down on the ape's shoulder. This tires the Gigantopithecus even more. Without being able to use its arms, there isn't much the animal can actually do.
No roars, T-Rex.
The T-Rex has won this round. You can use this small break to get away from the giant animals. You're now in the thick tropical jungle, and the humidity there is turning your hair into an afro. Suddenly, you see something large and dark lurking behind the trees. Out comes the Gigantopithecus. Just great. Not again. This time, the creature seems to be ready for whatever comes its way. You see the...
It should be, again, bleeding out and dead. It should be done. There wouldn't be much left of it.
Trees in the distance move like ripples on a lake. The T-Rex pops out. It also looks ready for action.
It's probably followed the blood trail. Yeah.
Can think about is, why can't I just have a normal vacation? So you find yourself a nice comfy spot to get out of the way. Even though the Gigantopithecus was a native of the tropical jungle, studies showed this creature didn't climb trees. The ape was too large and heavy to climb trunks and swing from branch to branch.
Adult, we want to specify adults probably did not climb trees. The babies probably did. Most juvenile apes, all juvenile apes are excellent climbers. Even juvenile humans are excellent climbers. That's why we have jungle gyms and monkey bars and stuff.
Instead, it gathered food from the ground and was tall enough to pick fruit from trees, which was its main diet. Scientists know for sure that
it ate leaves and what else did Gigantopithecus eat? It ate herbs. It had a pretty varied diet. They actually did what was it? They did some tests on the teeth. Let me find that. I had the Dr. Pai Wenzhong from the Chinese Institute of Vertebrate Paleontology and Paleoanthropology. I think it's under the ecology section here. Just a second. That's about the teeth. Okay, here's diet. Gigantopithecus is considered to have been an herbivore. Carbon-13 isotope analysis suggests consumption of C3 plants, such as fruit, leaves, and other forest plants, so C3 plants. The robust mandible of Gigantopithecus indicated it was capable of resisting high strain while chewing through tough and hard food.
Gigantopithecus went extinct during the Ice Age. Climate change wiped out all of its favorite foods, and for some reason, this species didn't take to eating greenery, such as grass and leaves.
It did eat, it says right here, C3 plants such as fruit, leaves, and other forest plants. Yeah, they have a remarkably lower rate of pitting caused by eating small hard objects than orangutans. So orangutans eat more small hard objects than they do. More similar to the rate it's seen in chimpanzees. So that's more of a generalist diet, whereas orangs are, definitely more frugivorous, the most frugivorous of the great apes.
The T-Rex was definitely designed to eat meat. Its diet consists of basically anything it could get its tiny hands on. The dino hunted animals and other dinosaurs. But
tiny hands. Again, these arms are still huge. They're just small compared to this 9-ton animal. They're still huge. They're still absolutely massive with two big hooked claws on the end. You don't mess with the T-Rex. You don't mess with the T-Rex arms. Don't underestimate its arms.
But it wasn't above scavenging. Oh, look, they're at it again. But this time, it's the ape that has a strong home advantage. Even though it can't technically climb trees, it can easily squeeze through bushes. It also knows the jungle like the back of its enormous head. And the T-Rex has troubles navigating through the dense jungle.
Well, so T-Rex theropods were pretty, because they move pretty serpentine through a forested region, right? The body would follow the head. They wouldn't have as much of an issue moving through the forest as it's like a sauropod would, for instance, where they're just really broad animals. Obviously, when it comes to theropods, T-Rex would probably be the worst at it just because it's such a wide animal. But besides being an extremely wide animal and having to accommodate for that, it wouldn't have especially difficulty, especially moving through the forest, or in this case, it'd be like a cloud forest, I guess, since we're talking about Giganto.
It keeps bumping into trees. The T-Rex looks lost. It can't seem to find the ape. It moves to grab a bite of whatever seems to be its opponent, but it's just a large bush.
They went on about how great this animal's sense of smell was early in the video, and now it's in the jungle. It can't smell the difference between a bush and a Gigantopithecus.
The dino gets angry and shakes it until only several branches and twigs are left. Meanwhile, the ape appears out of nowhere and throws a powerful punch.
That was actually an ape-like attack, though. That was something apes will actually do. So at least it stopped doing kung fu and started acting like a primate.
T-Rex loses
or non-human primate
its balance and topples over. It tries to bite the ape, but misses.
Now this Giganto's popping up and disappearing in different places. I guess this is supposed to be because of his jungle knowledge, his jungle lore. He should look more like King Louie than King Kong. I'm just saying. And yes, I do write King Louie and King Kong ship porn. No, not really. Not porn anyway. I had ChatGPT write a intimate scene between the two of them, though, where they kissed.
The ape keeps hitting the dinosaur. The T-Rex manages to swing its tail and sends its opponent into a tree.
Again, tails not a weapon for general theropods. Not something that's actually gonna happen. But he whacked them into the tree.
Some fruit drop onto the ape's head. The animal grabs them and throws at the dino, trying to confuse it. But it's like throwing pebbles at a rock. The ape takes hold of a tree trunk and uses it as a shield to avoid tail swings directed at it. As soon as the trunk breaks, the ape catapults itself on top of the T-Rex, trying to wrestle the creature to the ground.
This ape has to have some like gamma powers or something. He's got to be a superhero, like a military experiment or something. This is not what we typically would expect from Gigantopithecus to be leaping 12 meters into the air more than over 12 meters into the air to land on the back of a Tyrannosaurus. Nor do we expect for that 300 kilogram ape to be able to buckle the 9-ton theropod under its meager weight.
The king of the lizards is crushed down by the ape's weight and can't find a way to free itself. It tries to get out of the opponent's grip several times. Once the dino succeeds, it scurries away out of the jungle. The big
I would
ape
never call any motion that T-Rex performs scurrying. Just scurrying doesn't sound right.
is the winner. Victorious, it bangs on its chest. Now, how are you supposed to get out of here?
All right. So, yeah, that was Bright Side. Who would win? They got a whole series of these. Actually, let me see if I can show you guys what they got. They had recent hits. I guess they get a lot of. They got Megalodon versus Dunkleosteus. Here, let me show you. Yeah, Megalodon versus Dunkleosteus. Let's see here. Yeah, Megalodon versus Leviathan. Tiniest dinosaur versus Scorpion. Biggest spider versus Scorpion. Biggest lizard versus biggest snake. Or sea lizard versus biggest snake. So there's lots we can do on these. If you guys liked this, let me know, because I really like doing this. This was so much fun. I've never thought about doing responses to these kind of things, but ooh, they got ants versus termites. Yeah, maybe I'll do that one. I don't know though. I am kind of interested in this Megalodon versus Dunkleosteus one though. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Matt Powell versus a silverback. All right, so thank you for sticking around, everybody. I've kept over 20 of you all engaged with me for this whole video, so whole live stream. So that was I don't know what I'm going to call that. Bad biology, bad ecology. It's all a whole bunch of bad animal science. Naughty animal science. All right, so I will continue, I think, doing this as long as everybody likes it. So, and I kept so many people engaged with it. Maybe I'll do a poll to see which one we do next. We can just kind of go through these for a few weeks. Sound like fun? I think it sounds like fun. I do have my fundraiser, again, for my electrolysis, pinned in the live chat there. So if you want to donate and help me get rid of this dysphoric problem that's causing me trouble, go ahead. But I just want to say, actually, appreciate everybody who stuck around, and hopefully you got some enjoyment out of my morning shenanigans. I'm going to go have some lunch. Maybe I'll have some Kentucky Fried Chicken or some KFC, some KFC to pass off the fundies. We'll see. Please remember to be kind, take care, and I'll see you next time.